I've got some shocking news to show you guys about the real estate market. Check out this 45-second video clip.
Here's why a $100,000 household income no longer buys the American dream. All 50 states require more than a $100,000 annual income, with 38 states needing more than $140,000. The most affordable states, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Kentucky, need between $109,000 and $117,000. The median income for a household of 4 people in each of those states in 2022 was between $71,000 and $87,000. Hawaii, California, and Massachusetts are the most expensive. Each requires an annual income of more than $240,000. The median income for a family of 4 in those 3 states in 2022 fell at least $94,000 short of what's required for the American dream.
And you know what's even more shocking? Those incomes that are needed are just to afford the home. None of that accounts for the other costs in our lives like food, cars, healthcare, or retirement. We are truly at a tipping point, as you're about to see, and I've got some personal advice for you later in the video. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in beautiful Las Vegas. Hey guys, a couple of real quick things before we dive into the video. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn the cold hard facts about the U.S. economy, the U.S. real estate market, and specifically the Las Vegas real estate market, then definitely subscribe to the channel down below. Number 2, if you happen to like the content in today's video, make sure to press that thumbs up like button, guys. That would really help the channel out. And number 3, if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or next year, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When that time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. So between inflation and massive corporate greed, millions of people are suffering more than ever before. Just take a look at a few of the comments from that video clip I just showed you. So this first comment says, based in California, I make $100K, but it's not really $100K. After state, federal, health insurance, plus other mandatory taxes, you're looking at about $65 to $70K take home. This next comment says, I made $80K before COVID, had about $1,700 left over each month. Today I make $110K. I have about $600 left each month while living a less luxury lifestyle. And this third comment says, the house across from mine just sold for $1.53 million. The owner bought it in 1994 for $80K. Yeah, good luck keeping up with that. Now here's where things could potentially change in the real estate industry as we go through the rest of this year. Mortgage rates are skyrocketing, as you can see right next to me. The employment market is definitely weakening, and housing inventory is increasing as well. Now this is an election year, so I don't think much is going to change the rest of this year, but as we get into 2025, that's when I think we could finally see home prices start to drop. Now, just to drill down more specifically to where I'm located here in Las Vegas, I want to show you guys what's been going on in the local Las Vegas real estate market, as well as some examples of some absurd price gouging. Let's take a look at those right now. All right, so before we dive specifically into the Las Vegas real estate market, I wanted to show you guys this article that just came out recently that's really pretty shocking. It talks about overall home prices throughout the country and how quickly prices have doubled in many cities across the United States. I want you guys to take a look at that blue highlighted sentence down below. I'm going to read it to you real quick if you can't read it. It says the national median home price has yo-yoed towards twice what it was 10 years ago. The average home in the United States went from around $200K to $400K, molded by an unrelenting storm of inflation, tight supply, and surging demand. All right, so scrolling down a little bit lower into this article, this is really pretty shocking. Take a look at the top there where it says twice the price in no time. Big U.S. cities where median home prices doubled the fastest. Now, this list right here contains about 30 cities across the country where home prices have doubled very, very quickly. In fact, if we go to the top left here, number 1 on the list is Detroit, Michigan. If we go across to the other side of that green bar, it says time it took to double, 4.9 years. The second city on the list right there is Spokane, Washington. If we go across to the other side, it says time it took to double, 5.9 years. If we go down right here where there's a little bit of text right there, it says most expensive housing market, Irvine, California, prices doubled from $750,000 to $1.5 million in 7 years. If we go to the very bottom right here, the bottom city here is Madison, Wisconsin. Take a look at that little black box that popped up. It says time it took to double, 7.9 years. So this is pretty scary, guys. This just goes to show you how out of control the U.S. real estate market is. I remember when it took 20 to 25 years for home prices to double. And now we're seeing it happen across dozens of cities throughout the United States in 5, 6, or 7 years. This is why so many aspiring homeowners have been priced out of the market, because a few years ago, home prices were fairly reasonable, and now it's mostly unaffordable for the average person. All right, so now let's drill down more specifically into my neck of the woods here in Las Vegas, which happens to be one of the most popular and most moved to cities in the country every single month. Now, this is a chart going back 1 year. This is the median home price chart in Las Vegas. So what I want to do is I want to show you down here in the bottom left where it says March of 2023, and you see that little black box that popped up. About a year ago, the median home price in Las Vegas was about $425,000. And then you can see as we scroll up through the rest of the year, all of these prices really start to increase up to about $450, hovered around $450 for quite some time. And then we had a big pop in the last couple of months so that the median home price now in Las Vegas is approximately $465,000. All right, so now here's what's really most shocking about the Las Vegas real estate market. Take a look at that small black box right in the middle of the chart. It says January 2024, $445,000. That was the median home price. And then what happened the next month, it popped all the way up in February to $460,000. And then it popped up another $5,000 right there that you could see, $465,000 at the end of March. Now, here's what's really shocking. The winter time is typically the slowest time of year for real estate, and we saw the largest increase in the median home price here in the Las Vegas area during usually the slowest time of year. That's a telltale sign that demand is still very strong and supply is still very low. Now, do I see this scenario changing? Yes, but it's going to take time because housing inventory is notoriously slow to come to market. So I think especially because this is an election year, home prices are going to remain elevated, but also too, interest rates are going to remain elevated and we may hit record highs. And I think after this election year, especially if interest rates stay high and inflation is still high, we are going to hit a wall economically and as well as in the real estate market when we get into 2025. All right, so just to drill down a little bit more specifically into the Las Vegas real estate market, if you guys follow my channel, you know that I usually go to the popular real estate platform Zillow near the end of each of my videos. Just to show you a few examples of homes for sale here in the Las Vegas area, I usually start with the comical, which are these multi-million-dollar luxury homes, and then work down closer to the average price point. This week's going to be no different. I'm going to start with this luxury example. Let's take a look at this right now. All right, so let's start with the utterly ridiculous. I know most people on the planet can't afford a $7 million home, but you can see this home is listed for basically $7 million. It's a 4-bedroom with 5-bath, 5,700 square foot home. Actually, down here on the bottom right, just take a look at the HOA fee right there where I'm moving the arrow. Almost $700 a month in an HOA fee. But more importantly, I want to show you the price history of this particular home just to show you where it was a few years ago compared to where they have it listed right now. All right, so let's look at the price history of this home down below in this blue highlight. Down on the bottom left, it says 9/28/2020. This home sold about 3.5 years ago for $4,275,000. Now, if we look just above it, that date right above it says 4/11/2023. This home was listed for sale for $8.5 million. So 2.5 years after it was bought, the sellers have now decided to double the price and try to make double their money on the home in 2.5 years. Even in the luxury category, this is utterly ridiculous. Now, if we take a look above it, you can see that they lowered the price from 8.5 to 8 million, then 7.5, and now it's essentially listed at about $7 million. So here's the thing, guys. Even though I know 99% of people cannot afford a multi-million-dollar home, this just goes to the bigger picture of the absurd seller greed going on right now, whether it's in the luxury space or the average price point space. No home goes from $4 million in value to $8 million in value in less than 3 years. So whether you're a luxury buyer or an average price point buyer, what you really need to do is not buy into the hype. You need to do due diligence. You need to get a real estate agent to run comps for you and not buy into these ridiculous overpriced homes, regardless if it's in Las Vegas or anywhere in the country. All right, so now let's take a look at this second example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. Now we're definitely coming down in price, but in my opinion, as you're about to see, this home is massively overpriced. Take a look at the left side of the screen there. This home is currently listed for $880,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,344 square foot home. Take a look right here where I'm moving the arrow to. The HOA in this particular community is $623 a month. And as you're about to see down below in the price chart history, this home was a lot cheaper a few years ago, and now again, in my opinion, it's massively overpriced. Let's look at those details right now. All right, so let's take a look at the price history down here in this blue highlighted right at the very bottom. The date on the bottom left there says 1/20/2021. So that's a little over 3 years ago. If we go across on the right side of the blue highlight, it says that the home was sold for $555,000. Now, if we look just above it, the date above it says 9/5/2023. So a little over 2.5 years later, they listed this home for sale for $944,000. That's almost a $400,000 price increase in just over 2.5 years. They have not been able to find a buyer. And as we take a look up, it says 933, 929, 909, and then now at the current list price of $880,000. So they've dropped the price about $65,000. But just think about this for a second, guys. A few years ago, the home was sold for $555,000, and now they originally wanted to get $944,000, and they obviously were not able to get it, and they still can't get a buyer even at $880,000. This home is another perfect example of massive overpricing, in my opinion. And again, you've got to do your due diligence and not buy into the hype just because a seller wants some ridiculous price for their home. All right, so let's take a look at this third and final example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. You can see on the left side of the screen, now we're getting down closer to the average price point, which again, in the Las Vegas area is about $465,000 right now. This home is currently listed at $519,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, only 1,100 square foot home. But again, more importantly, I want to show you guys the absurd price history of this home just in the last few years. Let's take a look at that right now. All right, so again, let's look at the price history down here in the blue highlight down in the bottom left. That date says 3/3/2022. So that's a little over 2 years ago. This home sold for $349,000. Now we take a look at the date just above it. It says 11/13/2023. So that's a little over a year and a half later. This home was listed for sale for $559,000. That's a $210,000 price increase in just a little over a year and a half. They have not been able to find a buyer. And then just above it, they've been reducing the price to $535,000. And now right at the top there, right where I'm moving the arrow in the middle of the screen, they currently have it listed at $519,000. That's a $40,000 price reduction on this home because the sellers now know that they can't get that price. But more importantly, I want to show you the chart on this particular home. Take a look right here in the middle of the chart, right where I'm moving that small arrow. Just to the right of that, in that small box, it says October of 2023. If we go over to the left side of the screen right here, that small number right there says $351,000. So that's what Zillow had this home estimated at back in October. So again, focus your attention right here in the middle of the screen, right where I'm moving that small arrow. Just to the right of that, that box now says November of 2023. So I moved the chart forward by 1 month. Now take a look over here on the left side of the screen. The price now says $558,000. So in October, the month before, it said $351,000, and then in November, it said $558,000, which of course makes no sense because no home appreciates from $351,000 to $558,000 in just 1 month. So if we take a look at the upper left side, right where it says estimated market value, underneath that it says Zestimate. That's the way Zillow currently estimates market values of homes. You can see the price is now down to $503,000. So a few months ago, they had it at a whopping $558,000. And now it's down to $503,000. So you can see the prices are starting to decline because, again, the sellers are listing these homes for way above what the actual market value is. And unfortunately, Zillow is also overestimating it, in my opinion, because this home, again, was $350,000 just a couple of years ago. There's no way this home should be over $500,000 right now. But this just goes back to a bigger issue that I've talked about a lot in my previous videos. This is not just about inflation or greed. The bigger issue is buying behavior. This country has a massive spending problem, and that's why prices are so elevated across so many sectors of the economy, especially home prices. If we just boycotted, especially the housing market, and buyers stopped buying, this is what would happen to home prices. They would come down, as I'm showing you guys in these examples, and they would come down significantly. So again, if you don't have to buy a home right now, that's why I think let the sellers sweat it out, let them continue to reduce prices and not buy. That would allow us to finally have reasonable home prices. But again, the buying behavior has been completely out of control. So regardless if it's these Las Vegas homes that are overpriced or any homes across the country, we are living in unprecedented times right now because inflation and corporate greed are completely out of control. And one of the biggest drivers as to why all of those problems exist is because consumer demand is completely out of control. So I have 4 simple pieces of advice for you guys that will hopefully help you out from a financial standpoint. Number 1, don't buy a home right now if you don't have to. Home prices and interest rates are near record highs, and I definitely think those things are going to be coming down, especially as we get through the rest of this year and into 2025. Number 2, save as much money as possible and don't spend frivolously. Number 3, pay down your credit card debt as fast as you can. And number 4, try to start some kind of a side hustle business to earn more money. I know a lot of you are struggling right now, but if you follow those 4 things, you'd be surprised as to how much it would really help you out from a personal standpoint. I also want to hear from you guys. I want you to drop me a comment down below. I read and respond to all of my comments. Let me know what you're frustrated about, whether it's housing costs, insurance costs, college tuition costs, food prices. Let me know what's really frustrating you. And my favorite comment from this week's video, I'm going to give a direct on-screen shout out to in next week's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I also hope you appreciate my transparency. You know that I'm always going to keep it 100% real on this channel regarding the economy and the real estate market. So again, guys, if you don't have to spend money right now on frivolous things, don't do it. Save as much as you can, especially when it comes to buying a home. I know some people have the luxury of being able to wait things out, and I definitely think that'll pay off as we get through the rest of this year and into 2025. I think home prices will come down, but I don't think that's going to happen for the better part of this year. I know everybody's circumstances are different. Some people can wait things out, especially when it comes to buying a home, and some people are looking to buy right now. If you are thinking about buying a home right now, especially here in the Las Vegas area, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When that time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you guys in the next video.